Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. As you can see, coming in, we're looking at a Nissan Pulsar. This has been brought to me with a noise from the engine. So it's been diagnosed already as a timing chain. So just have a look in the engine bay, as you can see here. So this is what your engine looks like. This could be a problem you may be experiencing yourself while you're watching this video. See if the noise is the same. So I'm just going to start it up now to demonstrate what this noise is. I'm not going to leave that running for too long. As you see, very rattly in there, behind the timing case cover. Have done a diagnostic scan on this car. So this is something I always do before I do anything, and as you can see here, there's no faults stored in the engine. So we're going to crack on with getting this timing chain replaced. So I've loaded up the car, and as you can see it's the Pulsar, and as you can see here it gives us the engine, so it's the 1.2. Following these instructions, as you see here, this is what's required for removal of the timing chain. So it says disconnect the battery, disconnect the brake, servo, disconnect the air inlet hose, and so on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to follow these through as it gives me the instructions to. So just follow this through. It shouldn't be getting into any trouble. So following the instructions, first things it asks me to do is disconnect the battery. So you see the battery has been disconnected. So the next part is what it's asking me to do is remove the brake servo hose. So I followed that round, and that was 2 here. So that's the point that goes right across the top. So I've already slackened it off. So just these clamps holding that on each side. Then there's the charge air pipe, which is the next thing, and as you can see that is just clipped in here, just down there. And what it does is it goes over the top of the engine, so it's held on by some 10 mils, one each side. So under them, under the clamp on the charge air pipe as well, and being able to remove that. Next thing in the list is to remove the ignition coils, so I'm going to get all these ignition coils out now. Ignition coils have all been removed. What I've done now is I've taken this air pipe off as well, so get that removed out of the way. What I'm going to do as well is take this, also this breathe pipe off, get this all out of the way. What I need to do then is get this high pressure pump off, and also the camshaft sensors. Fuel pump has now been removed, and also I've took the little lifter out as well, so that lives in there. Also I've disconnected the wiring here for the camshaft position sensors, so that's been took out. After that I have just taken a couple of bolts out here for the heat shield, and there's one right around the back there, and again there's also the oxygen sensor that goes in here, so I'm able to push that back. So I'm going to do now is I'm going to start to remove the bolts for the rocker cover to get that taken off. So you've got the rocker cover off now, so you can see the chain now. Just to have a look, as you can see, a lot of slack in this chain, so it's stretched, so this chain is what's causing the noise, so just needs to be replaced. So we crack on. So now we've got to get down the side and underneath the vehicle. So I've got the car jacked up now. I've removed the wheel arch liner, as you can see, so didn't record that, but it just goes around here, and there's just a load of plastic clips in there that you just pull out and it just pulls off. So what that does though This allows us to see right at the side of the engine. So as you can see here now, got the crank with the belt, and this one here is the tensioner. So to get this belt off, so you pull this down, let's see it moves. What you have to do is you have to put a socket on here. So this is where that is. Then just move that in the direction to remove the tension. Then you'll be able to take the belt off. So now I've taken the engine mount off, so the auxiliary belt's been took off, as you can see here. And they came up top, did support the engine underneath. So as you can see, we've got the engine supported. So they took the mount off. I've took this wiring off as well. So the wiring just ran down the sides underneath the mount like this. So I've just unhooked the two connectors for the variable valve timing. Move that out of the way. So after what I've done now is I've removed the Vanos solenoid, so with the variable valve timing solenoid, so one on this side, again one on the other side. Then there's two covers on here for the inlet and exhaust. Remove them as well. So just to show you, so these are the solenoids. So you just held in by one bolt, so just undone the bolt, pulled it out, and again for the side, undone that one, pulled that one out. And these were the covers which were just held on by 3 bolts on each side. This was the intake one, and I have marked up the exhaust one. If you take these off, a couple of things to be aware of. These are the seals, as you can see. Make sure you get those replaced. And again, to inspect these rings to make sure they're not cracked as well. They're in good condition. What I'm going to do now then is get this timing case removed. So I need to undo the pulley bolt at the bottom. Get that taken out, get this timing case off. So I've got the timing case removed now, or timing case cover. You can see all the bolts removed and we can see the actual chain itself. Looking at our repair instructions, it tells me that the markings for the camshaft, so it's here, it shows where all the bolts are. And as you can see, it says here the lines, and as you can see there's some marks on the links. So putting the engine into that position, so there's sensor bolt in, turned it over. And as you can see, there is some marks on the chains, so as you can see there is marked up. I've had to turn it over quite a few times to get this mark up, so it is in the TDC position. If we have a look at the bottom, again there's a little mark where the link should be, so the one link's actually out on the bottom, which just before. So now the chain and the guide is able to be moved, so I'll get them removed now. So just thought I'd check out the tensioner on the chain as well. It is getting a brand new tensioner, but I just thought I'd have a look. And as you can see here, the tensioner isn't keeping the slack on the chain, so it's allowing the chain to go slack, so it's just not coming out enough. And as you can see then, that is what's allowing this chain just to slap around and make the excessive noise that we heard earlier. Just to finish off this video now, so I've got all the new chains on, so I did put them back in the marks where I said they were. And you see all the new guides and everything on there. Just one thing to mention, to get this bottom chain on, I had to drop the sump off. So when I drop the sump off, just had to take the pump off, so it's just held on by one screw here, one there, sorry, bolts, and one there as well. So two 10mm, two 8s, and I was able just to pull the pump down, move it over, which then allowed me to remove the chain, put the new one on, and it's just a reverse to go back together. Hope you find this video useful. Thank you. So I said I was going to end the video, but just wanted to show you guys that I've turned this engine over, and as you can see, all the links are marked back up. And the bottom one, again, as you can see with the pointer, I'll give it a bit of oil, as you can see there. So this link was out before, so when I did the repair instructions for putting the chain back on, it says to put that link back with that mark. If you go back in the video, you can see it's actually had jumped a link around, so the timing was out before. One thing I just want to mention as well is when you mark all of these up to begin with, and you turn the engine over, these links don't mark up the first time you turn it over, or the second time. You have to turn it over a few times until the links do mark back up. So that's just one thing we just wanted to point out. So it's all back together now. As you can see, everything's back on. I've done a diagnostic test on the car. It is fault memory saying it's free, so I'm just going to do my first start now. Turn the engine over, put the oil in. So the engine runs, no issues. And if you listen to it now, I see that loud rattle has now gone away. I hope this helps somebody that's looking to do a job like this and find it useful. I want to thank you for also watching this video.